It's another wet Wednesday in the city of Abuja, but like we always say, it's part of life. During the dry season, during the wet season, life must continue. Hit the street, fulfill your dreams today. At the end of the day, you know you would have made good use of that 24-hour credit that was given to you today by God Almighty. Once again, welcome to the show. And as usual, my guest is here. My Oga is here, my boss. Mr. Salmon Salami, COO, Citizen 93.7 FM. Good morning, sir.
Our boss is in charge. That is God. Very good morning to you.
Good morning. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Good morning once again, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning.
Half of the show. And this which that's from the Dangote NMDPRA conflict heightens investment risk. And that's from the front page of the Guardian newspaper. 54.6 trillion naira additional backs Dangote as Kyari denies owing overseas refinery. LGA autonomy now that the Supreme Court has ruled. And let the third tier breathe. Implications of Supreme Court verdict. That's according to the Guardian newspapers. And all the stories you can find on Nigeria electricity bill between local council autonomy and pseudo federalism. Newspapers. So the Punch newspaper now, crime risk. Nationwide protest. SGF ministers hold emergency meeting today. Dangote's claims. Ezekwesili demands probe as Kyari denies owing foreign plant. 70,000 naira minimum wage for Lagos Calabar road and for challenging reps probe. Wow. Okay, we need to look at that story and see what it's all about. Around the government. The Punch newspapers. According to Mohamed Atiku Abubakar, presidential flag bearer of the PDP. Nigeria economy, technology to overtake others soon. Who is saying that? Vice President Shettima. Reps embark on 8-week apps approve 70% proceeds from forex transactions by banks. Okay. State of high. So those are the headlines that you can find. Hardship, shelf plant common to all the dailies today. First Lady task youths on post with Natasha over nightclub comment. Call for NMDPRA's boss. And so many other stories on the front page of the leadership newspapers. Blackmail of Guba. Kogi reps members dump ADC for APC. Okay. PDP will reclaim Kaduna under my watch chairmanship hopeful. Those are the stories that you can find on the front page of the leadership newspapers. Tinubu to protest planners, shelve idea, await our response. That's coming from our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And minimum wage bills await Tinubu's assent. Yes, we understand that the National Assembly passed the bill yesterday. New bill pegs IG club refunds. Court reject request to join states in federal government suit. No plan to suspend Soludo, says ABGA. Senate clears Tunji Bello for FCCPC TAP job. Billion naira revenue remits 255 billion in first half of 2024. Wow. Okay. So that's it for the Nation newspapers. Nigerian youths are to 26 new national minimum wage bill. Disparaging down. Federal government says it's fortifying work on long-delayed East-West road after threat of protest in Central African country. Shettima, Nigeria ready to overtake other world economies, technologies. Okay, so those are the headlines that you can find on the front page of this day newspaper. We've gone through a lot. Maybe we'll take a short break, and when we return, I'm sure that Mr. Salmon Salam is itching to go full blast with his analysis. Please don't go away. Still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we.
There is not a battle of survival. We are all coming from a lot, going through a lot, or going into a lot. About 50 million Nigerians suffer one mental disorder or another. So, are you depressed, anxious, having suicidal thoughts, or just tired of life? Your Phil Amadi on Citizen 93.7 live stories and conversations of our minds. My mental health.
Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. We are Nigeria secure. To put to work efficiency, humility, integrity in service delivery. With fresh zeal, bringing credibility into concept of security. We are Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and training strategies, developing structures.
Oh yeah, oh my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top Make We Talk Am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday, and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody. Suffer, suffer, suffer. Enjoy forever.
Did you miss out on the missed information? Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Citizen FM 93.7 FM, and it's time for us to commence our second part of the show, which is in-depth analysis of some of the headlines that we read before. Government protests have been told to shelve the idea and await the government's response. President Bola Tinubu yesterday urged Nigerians to give the government. Also yesterday, students said Egbetukun, who cautioned against a violent protest, vowed not to allow anarchy, and so on and so forth. The president, who spoke through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, appealed to Nigerians for understanding and more time to enable him tackle the mounting challenges and clear the path to a new lease of life. Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, our Super Citizen listeners, once again. Here we are, of a country and wait. This is a clear signal that the government knows and feels the pulse of the nation. It is now clear, and the people and problems. I am solving it, but it requires little time. What we need now, how much time do we need? There is no doubt, and others have been saying it, and we do not need to sound like a broken record that there is hardship in the land. The hardship is such that is exclusive. That is why the president has little time left to do the needful. But it is good that the government knows precisely where the shoe is pinching. It is pinching at all corners. And I'll plead with Mr. President to, as a matter of urgency, do the needful. To our restive youths and those who are waiting to take advantage, please have a rethink. The time is not over. Even if it is, let us focus on our own problem and not project frayed nerves. And apart from that, do the needful and do it on time. Time is not on our side.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Salami. I await Tinubu's assent. President Bola Tinubu will get a clean copy of the new minimum wage bill for assent following yesterday's accelerated passage. Both chambers of the National Assembly wasted no time during their separate plenaries to put the bill through the three readings and with voice votes passed it. The executive bill, which prescribes 70,000 naira minimum wage chambers by presiding officers. Mr. Salami,
Lawrence,
accelerated passage.
Just, you can take it to the bank. Mr. President will sign the bill today. I am not a spokesperson, and I'm in no way related. Without wasting time. And it only shows that the main business have lost something. 250
something like
that they went to the villa. And they came out agreeing or accepting 70,000. Not only that, applauding at all times to have enough or the background information. You just cannot take a decision without having background information. Well, because you may be talking out of ignorance, but it is the opportunity of And NLC being a very, very reasonable organization of people by people who are very, very meticulous, rational, and patriotic, saw reason and why they should accept 70,000. The race of life is not a destination, it's achieved a lot.
All right, Ms. Concern. And for me, I was particularly happy with the way the state handled the matter. That's the Nigerian government handled the matter. And what also tipped the balance in favor of a reasonable outcome was perhaps the direct involvement of the president. I doubt if the labor leaders were meeting with ministers, it will be a back and forth event, back and forth, and before you know it, perhaps tip the balance, because sometimes you also bring a confidence to that negotiation. When labor leaders are talking to you as the president, they know that the buck stops with you and that decisions reach there. You wouldn't need to go anywhere else and consult for any approval and stuff like that. I still cannot forget that incident.
Well,
if there was a direct involvement of the then president, I doubt whether that situation will linger for 1 year. I really doubt it. So, going forward, I know I'm not saying that the president should always be involved in every industrial dispute, but when it looks as if national security, the economy is going to suffer, or the destinies of our children, well, move on. It didn't take him half done. And I'm also hopeful that the president is going to give his assent today. But that's just part one. When it comes to the state, I think Nigerians need to hold their governors to account, because that is where the major problem. I doubt whether the federal government will blame this. I'm not even talking about the organized private sector. I'm talking about the states now. The state governors, some of whom have not paid 30,000 naira. So residents of those states, leaders, youth, market women, people, activists, everybody, you need to hold each state governor to account. This is a law. Once it's assented to by the president, it is not within the whims and caprices of any governor to choose, pick and choose. It becomes a law, an act of the national.
Not to pay. The federal allocation to states have increased by 45%. And it only means that in the coffers of the state government, there is more money. They have no reason not to pay.
What if they decide to build airports or some other things which they consider more important?
Well, I won't allow sarcasm here. And our people always say that Allah gemoti bimoy. I mojoku silowo, meaning that the masquerade has given birth. The dancing masquerade, I'm not no pun
intended.
The masquerade don't know how to dance. Well,
all right, Mr. Salami, we leave it at that. All right, let's leave the nation news. Band A tariff hike. The House of Companies to revise the tariff hike for Band A customers immediately. This resolution was reached after Nigerians cannot afford the new tariff. The committee recommended a return to the status quo. Mr. Salami.
You see, as you are reading this, something was just going on in my mind. I don't like this idea of taking decision first and now thinking of how to reverse it. There should be an arrangement whereby whatever increase in price will take place, you must have discussed with the body concerned, and you must have agreed, and sensitization must have taken place as to why this should happen. Not that whimsically people will just wake up and say, yes, a mudu of agari is no more. Are we serious? It only means there is no order. You cannot plan based on whatever you have. But a situation whereby you will be planning with so, and you get to the market and you discover that just this got it. So you see, honestly, if we are serious, I think there is the need to have a rethink on how we do things. We cannot continue like this. This is not the way forward. Okay. The way forward is to have a body, if we don't have already, and I believe we do, the one being chaired by Tunji Bello. Whatever price increase must be discussed first, and people must be told as to why there is the need for increase and what increase is reasonable. Not that we just wake up and we do whatever we like. As it is today, everybody does whatever he likes. Even the akara seller will tell you it's no more 300-400 naira. It is now 50 naira per one.
How do you know? Because I know you don't buy that akara.
I do buy.
I know where you buy your akara. I'm not going to go there. All right. Okay, but I think that argument is valid, but there are also some who believe that we need to be careful. When you say you have liberalized a sector, or it's open to others to invest, people bring in their money to invest and everything, you have to be careful how you jump in to enforce some kind of price regulation so that you don't scare away investors.
There should be a regulatory body. You should not leave it to the investor. Investor is there to make profit. Investor, you see, don't you know that when you bring out your money, when you everything, should be the people. You don't kill people because you are investing. They won't benefit from the investment.
All right, you can join the discussion. The phone lines are open. Call us on 0903 22 29797. You can also call us on 0818 22 22205 or 0818 2222 206. Okay, let me 797. You can also call us on 0818 2222 206. You can also send us a WhatsApp message. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 here in Abuja. Mr. Salami, there's this story on the cover of the Punch newspaper. Crime rate dropping, internal security improving, says IG. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetekun, on Tuesday said there was a decline in crime rate across by the police. Specifically, he noted that major crimes dropped to 416 in the last 1 month, compared during a meeting with commissioners of police in Abuja on Tuesday, commended personnel of the force for their passion and commitment.
It's music to the ears that the crime rate is dropping. The crime rate is dropping. Why is it dropping? Is it because of the way we now handle security matters? Is it because of our people-friendly policies? Or is it because people's of mindset and mindset reset that of crime is the people upon? And again, if there is consequences, the moment people know that you just cannot get away with crime, the rate will drop. The moment crime peeling, and the moment people at the root of everything is this: government should churn out people-friendly policies, and there should be advocacy against crime, especially the youths, whose mind still remains what we were told. They should be well guided. There is the need for us to live by example. We should churn us with justice and equality and fairness too. If we are able to a large extent guarantee this, crime rate will drop. Not by sitting down and reeling out datas. It is good. It is much more than that. You are dealing with human beings and social behavior, and people behave differently at any point in time. I want sound argument, not just self-emulation. No, you should tell us why crime rate is coming down, and it should be convincing. Well, whoever wants to hear, let them hear.
This leadership we hand there, it was just a summary of what took place. I'm sure that if we want to know details of those things, we can get them from the police. But it's not just that. I also depending on the people. It also depends on the locality. People need, for example, people in a community. How many people in the community have the phone number of the DPO or the DCO or anyone in the police station, or even the landline of the police station that they can call? How many people know who to reach out to in a community, in a street? If there's something untoward, this is who to reach out to. Ruler and everything. These are elements that people need to know from the grassroots. Young children in primary school, nursery school, by the time they get to secondary school, it becomes a community, and they know who to reach out to without necessarily places in outside the country. There are some places that you go to, and if you drive 2-3 times around that street, you are going to be picked up because someone somewhere, even an elderly woman who is in a balcony, will pick up a phone and call the police or call somebody that, look, there's a strange movement going on. We need to encourage it.
You should be sure that when you make a day, there was no response. You did tomorrow.
Is not
friendly.
Apart from that too, then the person is not also equipped to do the job. There is no fuel in the vehicle. The person cannot move. They cannot mobilize officers on time because Mr. Salami. It's a story. All right, still staying with the Punch newspaper. Military hands over rescued Chibok girl head over to the Borno State governor. A rescue abducted by Boko Haram. This was disclosed in Ribbon Kuvangia. He said in yet another remarkable achievement in the fight against terrorism and insurgency in the Northeast Theater of Operation, the theater commander handed over another rescued Chibok girl to the Borno government. Mr. Salami, each time I see stories like this, my heart bleeds. How many years now? 6 plus 3? 9 years. Okay, 10 years after the Chibok incident, because it was in 2014, I guess. 10 years after, we are still retrieving the Chibok girls as if they are commodities that you pick and everything. Kudos to us, gallant officers and men who are putting in this effort. It's not easy because I have been to that part of the country, even in the thick of the insurgency, when we used to cover the defense bit and everything.
My people will always say that my son is dead. They would have time always say that my son is dead. They would have time they were abducted. I was asking myself that for whatever it was worth, they fed them. And you see, that's why we are saying that this security issue, we are all involved. We all have dominated completely. Without people, nothing can be done. We need people to join hands with the security agencies to stamp out this menace. Honestly, Lawrence, the government must get the buy-in of the people. And you can only do that by doing what our good friend Isa Onilu, Lanre Isa Onilu, is doing now. There is the need for reorient. There is the need for Nigerians to do things differently. And when you do things differently, you are not doing it for Nigeria. We are doing it for ourselves. Because there is no abstract thing called Nigeria. When you talk of Nigeria, you are talking of you and I. And if we mean well, we want this country to move forward, yes, we can do it.
Yes, in addition to the change of mindset, Mr. Salami, we also need as a nation to provide the basic things that the people need. A community that has no water, a community that has no access to health care, a community that is exposed to a lot of economic hardship, areas that are hard hit with the sympathy of the locals. But if people have been taken care of at least basic needs and everything, some of them will reject it because somebody who is hungry sometimes farm because of the insecurity will not think of all those things. So let's put the two side by side while we try to change the mindset of the people. Also make sure that they are alive by providing those basics for them.
You know, in the newsroom, we have been we talk about this. You see, you don't demand patriotism. You hand patriotism. You must have put in some basic needs or you must have discharged your own side of the bargain. It is then and not until then that you can now ask people to be patriotic or expect patriotism from the people.
All right. Let's look at the story from the Tribune newspaper. Nigeria economy, technology to overtake others soon, coming from our dear president, is also poised to overtake them in terms of economy and technology. He made a declaration on Tuesday when he launched the AI Expertise Blockchain and Technology Training and Outsourcing Initiative in Dutse, the Jigawa state capital, as part of Nigeria's strategy for digital transformation and leadership in Africa. Mr. Salame. Good now. Why are you smiling?
Well, good news.
Just that. Okay. Mr. Salami says it's good news. I believe that too. But there are other things also to put in place. And while we don't want to sound pessimistic, we know that it's doable. Nothing is really too much for this country to do. But one, we need to decide, are we ready to do it? We can say, let's move on. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7. Maybe we can just take one or two stories before we go. Okay, Mr. Salami, this story, I promise that we will come back to it. WAEC officials detained for challenging Reps probe. Let's see what the story is saying. 4 officials of the West African Examination Council were on Tuesday arrested by men of the Nigerian Police Force. The arrest followed a motion by a member of the committee after the officials failed to give satisfactory responses to inquiries posed by the panel. During the investigative hearing, the WAEC officials were engaged in an argument with the lawmakers. However, the lawmakers insisted that WAEC Nigeria was a creation of an act of the National Assembly, hence must render accounts to the parliament, who are the representatives of the people. And despite the protests by WAEC officials, they were led away by the sergeant at arms of the National Assembly and detained for about 15 minutes. However, after
this is I read it yesterday in the night and I was just laughing. And so you mean you could as it's funny. And in what capacity? So the lawmakers have the right to order somebody's detention in their capacity as judicial officers. So you see, gray areas that we need to beam our searchlight into. And one of such is this: what is the limit or the extent of the powers of the lawmakers? Do they have the power to detain somebody? Because like a judge or a judicial officer or a magistrate who could order the remand of
well, yes, by law I think they do. They can order, because I remember during the presidency of Ayim Pius, there was this controversy with a prominent judge of one of our courts, and Ayim was threatening that he was going to order his arrest. Yes, he was going to order his arrest and everything. And but for me, that is not even. I think it's just an unnecessary appear before you, and they are not satisfactory with their answers. You take it a step further. They are not the heads of.
That's right.
You escalate it, and then you reach out to their bosses. And if you are not satisfied, there are steps to follow. Understand? Because
you could even tell them to go back and prepare very well.
Exactly.
You have more time to do that, but a situation whereby we usurp, as it were, I don't think it augurs well for our democracy.
All right, well, but what augurs well for us is that we have to leave it at this point today on the show. We will return tomorrow bright and early on Newspaper Review, Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. My name is Mr. Salami. Always a pleasure to have. All right, let's make it a date tomorrow, bright and
Igbo bụ Igbo, anyị bụ odo